Welcome to Board Gaming with Austin. Today I'm going to be doing a gameplay video on My Hero Academia Plus Ultra board game. It is a board game for 2 to 4 players, and it plays in about 30 minutes. It's for ages 14 and up. However, anyone at any age should be able to play this game because nothing about this game is specifically for that age range. Here's the game box in front of you. And if you watch my other 2 videos, you would understand that those tokens are getting put aside because I didn't choose those characters, and I'm putting the rest of the characters aside as well. You see the directions right here, and those have a nice quick reference guide on the back of them. That's why I'm keeping them ready and available. You want to watch the gameplay, how to set up video, and any confusing directions that I go over in order to familiarize yourself with this game, or you can watch this video. We're going to kind of roll with it. I'm not sure if I'll go through a whole level. I'll probably go through about every component that you should keep track of. I'm going to keep this to my side. We chose these 3 Plus Ultra cards. I actually just realized in my review video, I didn't explain what the red dice was. So, specifically, what I've noticed is this Plus Ultra card is the only one that uses this red dice. It says spend 3 of your punch dice and take this card, and it's from its current play area. So anywhere on the board, anywhere on the table, you roll the power die during your turn. This is the power die, and you add that to your blue dice when you're rolling your dice. This card can be taken from here or anywhere on the table at any time, or not any time, during anyone's turn, they can do that. So these are the 3 we chose for a beginner game. Over here, I am Tsuyu Asui. I chose the necessary components, and I put everything already out on the table. Tenya Ida is over there. Tenya Ida is representing my girlfriend. When I do 2-player games like this, I play their character based on their actual strategy because we actually play these games. Every single game I review, we have played multiple times. So I can do their strategy based on what they would have done. So I'm doing the standees sideways so you can see them, and they're beginning in the UA high school. We are going to roll our dice to determine who goes first. All right, it's the person with the most punches. That gets me nothing. That gets them nothing. That gets me nothing. We're not getting any punches here. That gets them 2 punches. All right, that was the final punch, or the final roll. Now they are going to begin. They first move their hero to a location. They love event cards. That's their strategy. They go after events. So they're going to go here. This event card says, if passed, you gain 1 victory point. If failed, take 1 damage. So it's called Back to School. To complete this, you spend 3 matching dice result. Any dice. So they got really easy thing. Something I should have mentioned. You want to pay attention to your quirks because Tenya Ida's quirk actually allows them to begin the game first, so no dice would have needed to be rolled. They gain 1 victory point after they move to a new location every single time. So they gain 1 victory point. Mine says, before you spend dice, you may flip one of your dice to its opposite side. So that's between the roll dice and the spend dice phase. I can take one of these dice and flip them to its complete opposite side. So now they're going to roll those dice. Right there, they got 3 hearts. Now don't forget, you can spend dice on your card, and then you can spend dice for their unique effects during the spend dice phase. So it's beneficial to continue rolling these 3 dice then. So they're going to want to roll again. There you go. They got 5 hearts in 1 punch. That allows them to move on to their third phase, which is the spend the dice phase. They're going to immediately spend these 3 dice hearts to acquire this card. So that's their card. You resolve those effects during the resolve card effects. These 2 hearts heal people, but there's no one to heal, and the punch doesn't affect anyone because there's no villains on the board in that location. So those dice are spent. Now they move on to the resolve dice phase, the resolve card phase. They resolve this card. It says if passed, you gain 1 victory point. They get that card in front of them because it adds up to cards in front of them because they have plus ultra cards up here that they might need to get. These cards each have their own requirements. This cat-like reflexes says, if you have the most events in front of you, take this card from its current play area and gain 3 victory points. Lose 2 victory points when this card is taken from you. So that's important because pretty much what's happening is if it's taken from you, you still gain 1 victory point by taking that card because you gain 3, lose 2. However, if it's never taken from you, you gain 3 victory points. They passed it so they don't do the fail action that says if failed. All right, that's the only resolve card. Now it's the end of their turn. What you do is you resolve all end of turn encounters. There isn't any there. That's right here in this location. So they flip a new event over. Now it's my turn. On my turn, I decide I'm going to move my character. I'm going to show you what an encounter looks like. So I'm going to go here. Now it says, in the crosshairs, spend 3 punching symbols. If you pass, gain 4 victory points. If you fail, take 3 damage. And then it says, at the end of your turn, heroes take 1 damage. All right, so I'm going to want to get 3 punching symbols. All right, there's no punching symbols there, but can I immediately change one of these to a punch with my character's quirk? Yep, so this heart, the opposite side is a punch. So I'm going to change that to a punch and put that aside before the spend dice phase. There's a second punch. I need a third punch or I'm going to take some damage. That is the worst possible roll I could have ever done. All right, so what this says right here is I am now on the spend dice phase. There's no one to punch. You're going to go down in order. There's no hearts. I have no matching stars, and I have 3 skulls. So the skulls say you spend all skull symbols that you rolled. First, check to see if a villain is in your location. There's no villain. If they are at a location without a villain, which I am, I must spend 1 victory point or get 1 damage for every single skull. There's 3 skulls. I have no victory points, which means I must get the 3 damages. Remember, when your damages equal your stamina on the card, then you go to the UA High School, you lose 3 victory points, and it's essentially the end of your turn. I got nothing out of that. So I resolve what it says on the card. Now, on phase 4, spend 3 fists. If you pass, gain 4 victory points. If you fail, take 3 damage. So I take 3 damage from that card effect. I'm not doing great. I got 6 damage already. And it says, now I move on to the end phase. 5, end of turn. Heroes take 1 damage. All heroes. In that location, sorry. So only I get 1 more damage. So now I have 7 damage. I have 8 stamina. And it's their turn. They're going to do their first phase, which is moving or staying in the same location. You know how Tenya Ida likes to play. They like to stay in the same location. They're going to go for, it says, Feeding Frenzy. To complete this, spend 2 stars. You're going to do 3 of them. If passed, you gain 3 victory points. If you fail, you take 2 damage. So they stayed in the same location. So they don't get their extra victory point for moving, but 3 2-stars. So they got 2 of them already. So they're going to set those aside and roll the other dice. They just got their third one. But they don't want this here. And they don't want to get any possible damage from scoring these as skulls, so they're only going to roll this one. It gives them a heart. So then you move on to your second phase, which is rolling the dice. We already did that. You move on to your third phase, which is spend the dice. Spend it in order. They have no punch symbols. They have a heart symbol, but they can't heal. They have hero points. These hero points are being spent on this card. And then villains. They don't have any villain points. There's no doubles for these, so they don't use them. Those are wasted. All right. So now they move on to their fourth phase, which is resolve the card. So they already spent the dice here, so they gain 3 victory points. That moves here. They gain 3 victory points. The end of the game occurs, or the final curtain call is when someone hits 20 victory points. You can increase that number if you'd like. As soon as someone gets 20 victory points on their player board, everyone else completes their turn. Then you count up final scoring, which includes points from these cards plus ultra cards, includes points on your board, and anywhere else you might find points. Now let me see. I'm going to look at these. This allows you to spend 3 fists to get this dice to roll all the time. And this one says, if you have the most cards at the end of the turn, take this card and gain 3 victory points. Gain 1 victory point for each other type of card you have completed. Okay. I'm not really caring about that so much. I want the extra dice. So on my turn, I'm going to get out of here. Oh, sorry. It's the end of their turn. They're going to flip a new card over. I'm going to get away from this location. I want to go to an event. I want to get some event cards going. Actually, I'm going to move to UA High School, which is something that you can do. And I'm going to just focus on getting 3 punches because I want to... Oh. I think you essentially skip your turn if you move to UA High School. No, you move to UA High School. Okay, yeah, you follow the exact same turns. Again, these directions are very confusing. So I moved. There's nothing to do there when I moved there. I roll the dice. That's my first roll. I got 1 punch. I'm putting that aside, and I'm re-rolling the other one. All right, can I flip one of these over? This heart, I'm going to use my ability and flip it to a punch. I'm going to roll one last time. Hopefully I get a punch. Nope, I just wasted my turn, essentially, because going down the order, I can't punch anyone. I don't have... Oh, I do have 1 damage, so I can heal 1 damage. And with that comes 1 victory point. For every damage healed, you gain 1 victory point. The stars here, I don't have a matching pair of, or matching triple pair of dice, so I skip that, and I don't have a skull. So I just wasted my turn, essentially. You know what they're going to do on their turn. They're going to stay in the same location, and they're not going to move to get their victory points. They're going to sit there and go to their second phase, which is roll the dice. So their goal is to get 3 punches, 2 stars. So they have 1 star. They're going to roll again. Oh, I messed up at first. So now they're going to re-roll on their third and final roll. They take ones that they set aside, and they're re-rolling. You can only do that on your third phase. So they failed that. So you still move to your third step, which is spend the dice. So Since they failed their card, they're going to go in order of this and spend their dice. Instead of using it on that event card, they're going to spend it here. So they don't have any. They have one punch, but that doesn't do anything. They have no hearts. They have 4 1-stars. So that gives them the victory points of the 1 victory point from these 3, and then you get 1 extra point for another identical dice. So a pair of 3, you get the victory points of the number that's in that pair. Then you get 1 victory point for another identical dice. They get 2 victory points. All right, so they got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 victory points. I have 1. I'm doing really bad. Then they move on to the skull. They have 1 skull, so they either give up a victory point or take 1 damage. They're going to take 1 damage because you know they're going to stay in the event phase the next time. So I'm going to move to the event step. I don't do anything special for moving, so I moved. I'm going to roll my dice. Whoops. Reroll if it doesn't go inside the tray, so that's a punch. I need 3 punches and some 1s. I changed up my strategy. I just want to go for this now. So now on your first and second roll, you can't re-roll the dice that you set aside. On your third final roll, you can. Again, I didn't get it either. So you move on to your spend a dice step. There's no punching necessary. Same as what they just did, I get 2 victory points. Now you go to resolve card step. I actually missed this on their turn, but it says if failed, take 3 damage. They get 3 damage. I get 3 damage. So that puts me on 9 damages. So I clear the damage. I lose my 3 victory points because you lose 3 victory points when you lose your stamina equals damage. And you go to the UA High School. So I went to the UA High School. I now got no victory points, no damage. Tenya Ita's turn. So Tenya Ita decided they don't like getting any more damage. They're going to go over here to a villain. This one. They moved, so their card gives them the ability to get 1 victory point. That's phase 1. Phase 2, they're going to roll their dice. They got 3 punches, 2 3-stars. With villains, you want punches, so they're going to re-roll these 3. They got 2 more punches. They're going to re-roll this one, and they got a 3. So now they go into the third phase, which is spend the dice. They start with the top punches. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For every punch damage, you get a victory point. So they did 5 damage. They get 5 victory points. All right, now they move on to the hearts. They have none. They move on to stars. They don't have any. To do that, they don't have any skulls. So then they move on to the resolve a card phase. The card doesn't say anything on it. So they move on to the end of their turn. At the end of their turn, this card does not have any special effect. So they do nothing. It's my turn. So I'm going to move. I decide I want to finish them off. They have 5 damage. I'm going to go here and finish them off, which is one of the interesting things about this game is you can finish them off and get a new card yourself. But there you go. I roll my dice for my second phase. I get 2 punches. I need 1 more punch to finish them off. I roll my dice the second time. I want to keep this heart and set that aside to heal myself. Now, my special ability lets me move. Before the spend dice phase, I can move 1 dice to its opposite side. So I'm actually going to flop this heart to the punch because I need one more punch to kill him. Now I move to the spend the dice step. Spend the dice in order. So I do 3 punches. That gives him 3 damage, which will kill him. He's got 8 damage now. All right. Then there's no stars to resolve or hearts, so I go to skulls. Now it says, for each skull result the active hero rolls, they lose 1 victory point and place it on this card. The hero who captured this villain gains all victory points on this card. I have no victory points to place on this card, so that does not affect me. I don't get any damage because when you're on the villain's card, you play by the villain's rules when you roll skull dice. That doesn't affect me, but now he is completely captured because you want to do the resolve a card effect before you take the card to your hand. So that was step 3, step 4, and then now I'm on step 5, which is play a new card to the table and resolve end of turn heroes. Counter cards. Okay. Now, Tenya Ida decides that he wants to move back to try the events card. So they move and gain 1 victory point. Tenya Ida now has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 victory points. They need 3 more to trigger end of game. They are going to put this punch aside and re-roll the rest. I'm going to put this punch aside and re-roll the rest. They want 1 more punch and 2 ones. They got 1 more punch, but they did not get 2 more ones, so they're going to just resolve the unique effects of the dice. So you spend the fists. You can't spend any fists because there's no villains. Spend hearts. They heal 2 damage. Whoops. Heal 2 damage. And then gain 2 victory points. 1 for each damage. They have no stars to take care of or skulls. So now they move on to their resolve card phase, which says if you fail, take 3 damage. Now they go to the end of their turn. There's nothing to do. It's my turn. I'm going to stay here. We pulled up an ally card. So it says, Shota Aizawa. You may discard this card after you roll your your punch results. After you roll, your punch results count as 2 punch results. To recruit him, you spend 3 victory points. And I actually don't have victory points to spend, so I'm going to move to the encounter card. I want to go for 3 punches. That's 1. Got to re-roll that one. All right, so that's 3 punches. I'm going to re-roll these just for the heck of it. All right, so that helps me out. Now I'm on the spend a dice phase, and I'm going to spend 3 of these punches on this. It says, if you pass, gain 4 victory points. If you fail, take 3 damage. These don't give me anything, so I skip the rest of my spend dice phase, and I go to the resolve a card phase, which gives me 4 victory points. Now, at the resolve a card phase, it's the end of the turn, and this card says at the end of your hero's turn, take 1 damage if this isn't taken off of the board. It's taken off of the board after the resolve a card phase. So you don't do that end of turn action. It's the end of the turn now, so I fill this, and it's another encounter card. This encounter card says, Giran, spend a skull, a fist, and a heart. If you pass, you gain 4 victory points. If you fail, take 3 damage, and you take 1 damage at the end of every hero's turn who's in that location. Okay. They want to get a hero. So they're going to go here since they have a ton of victory points. They're going to spend 3 of their victory points to get him during the resolve card phase. So right now, they're going to roll their dice. Because everyone rolls dice, even on this ally, which just requires you to spend money. But they are going to still try to get some victory points here. So they're going to go for those 2s. Okay. They do have some damage to heal. That also gives them victory points. So right there, they rolled 3 2s and 2 hearts. So you resolve them in order. There's no fists. There's 2 hearts. So they heal 2 damage and get 2 victory points. Now, they resolve the stars. They got 3 matching 2s, so they get 2 victory points. And don't forget their victory point at the beginning of the round when they moved. And the skull. They don't have any skulls. All right, how many victory points do they have? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They have 19 victory points because they're going to spend on the resolve a card phase these 3 victory points. Actually, I apologize for going back and forth. At this point, they have 20 victory points. As soon as someone hits 20 victory points, it begins the end of the turn. So I get one last turn. This player gets this character with that special ability, but it doesn't matter. It's my turn, and I'm going to move my character to this event just for the heck of it. I'm going to roll some dice. I'm just going for victory points now. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep those 2 and re-roll these. Now I need 4 2s. So do any of those have 2s on the opposite side? They don't. All right, I didn't get it. It's the end of the turn. After I count these up. So I do heal 1. Damage. I don't have any damage though. I spend my stars, so I get 2 victory points. And then I use the skull, which gives me 1 damage. Or lose 1 victory point. Count up all your points and look at these plus ultra cards at the end of the game. So this says something not associated with victory points. This one says if you have the most cards at the end of the game, take this card and gain 3 victory points. Gain 1 victory point for each type of card you completed. That's a very powerful card. It's encouragement. So they have the most cards. They're going to get 3 victory points. Plus 1 victory point for each type. They have plus ultra card here, an event card, and an ally. So they get 3 more victory points. And clearly, they won. Thank you for watching this video. Sorry for any confusing points. If you have any more questions, ask them in the comments. As you can see, I still lost either way. Thank you.